Well, I can see from here that these grasses that were growing underneath the weeds are taller, healthier than those ones out there where there are no weeds, and they've actually started to yellow off.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I mean, and it's everywhere. And the next really supporting piece, if you put cattle in the paddock where there are weeds, you very quickly find they eat all the area around the weeds first.
Oh, they'll often go and eat the weed.
No, they do too. Of course, they eat the dry weed. They'll eat that out, certainly, because every plant has either got a thorn on it, not every plant, but 90% of them that we call weeds have either got a thorn on them or a tannin in them. And once they're dead, the dew softens the thorn, and they're more edible than most grasses because their sugar rating is double what grass has got. Or the tannins oxidise, and then once again they're edible. So we're talking about looking at a paddock and saying, well, that's my hay reserve, and this is the green cycle, and everything needs a bit of dry stuff with their green.
Yep.
So without the weeds, we've got an unbalanced system. You see how wet the grass is there you just pulled up?
Yeah. Soaking. That's the daily water cycle.
That's the daily water cycle. Now that plant is not going to need water out of the ground until that's dry.
Because it's able to 10 past 10.
Yeah, so, and you'll find if we get back here this afternoon, by 4 o'clock it'll be damp again. So it's only used water for 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours of the day at the most. And that's a fairly small amount. And of course it'll get it all back again if the system stays and the day's calm enough.
So effectively the water here is just being recycled time and time again. The
Absolutely.
same water.
Leaving, and this is the most important, the environmental capital, this nice black soil, more and more accumulating on the surface.
Okay. And this is where you're looking at this sorrel that's growing at the base of it that is looking quite healthy. And you'd go...
Okay, wait a minute, you're missing this one. Look at the ryegrass growing between two of them.
Oh, look at that. That is a ryegrass plant. Look at that, shiny.
In fact, there's not one. There'll probably be... There's a number of them right in amongst these roots, and they'll just wait till that plant is finished, and then as soon as the winter gets here and the frost knocks them out, see, look at this one, there's another one.
You wonder where they came from, because out here where there's no weeds...
They won't grow. No, of course they won't. That's the stupid part is that because the animals can't eat them, look how many there are in here. I'll just try and get the rest out. And they're all growing right in the root ball of the weeds,
shiny.
And they're beautifully healthy. You know, now what are we going on about in so-called science? I'm pretty rough at doing this, but anyway, we've probably got we've got enough to you know.
There's 4 very healthy ryegrass plants in one little nibble. Classic ryegrass plant with the purple stem, nice shiny leaf. And there was at least 4 of those hiding in that sorrel plant underneath.
Underneath where this weed came from. You know, we've got so much brilliant science that if we looked at landscape process and applied the science, we wouldn't have an argument. There wouldn't be a problem. But we tend to reduce it to a reductionist and a non-functional cycle, analyse a plant in a pot outside of the rest of the system, and then we get all the information about the plant, but nothing to do with how the system works. And the second thing is, tell me who's going to pay to analyse the productivity of this plant.
Not a chemical company.
No, not a farmer, because he's been spending all his life trying to get rid of them, and so nobody. We don't even go to the problem unless we go and looking at the environmental laboratory.
Yeah.
We can't understand why, and no one's going to pay. That's the problem.
Yeah.